If I could excuse me, I have a cold lately, and it isn't the coronavirus. I can say that right now. Speaking of, I checked back in the present day, and apparently the coronavirus is now affecting Japan. Well, at the time of this recording. Well, let me just say this right now. The bottom of my heart, hope everyone who is sick get a speedy recovery and hashtag kill coronavirus. All right, now that I got that off my chest, let's get back to, well, now. Whoever thought playing with the hands of God, resurrecting dinosaurs, and putting them on an island with no fail-safes was clearly an idiot. Or just think it was too much of a genius to think, oh my God, I'm the greatest man in the world. I can play with the hands of God. Have you not read the passage in the Bible? And it goes something like this. Thou shalt not play the hands of God. If thou do, a lady named Carmel will strike down thee with anger and furious vengeance. Fuck me. Yep, that's clearly how it went in the Bible. It's clearly in there, and this idiot did not read it. Whew, karma is a bitch. Even to the dumbest of idiots. So, the background is very similar to the original Jaws, but there is more to cover here. Novelist Michael Crichton originally wanted to write a screenplay about a teenager recreating dinosaurs as a TV series. Not sure how that would go. But that idea never got off the ground. Before Crichton wrote the novel in 1992, seriously, what is with the year 1992? God, it's bloated. The year 1992 was fucking bloated. Must have been a big deal to everyone. A very, very big deal. Anyway, in 1999, we're not there yet. In 1989, there we go, director Steven Spielberg, from Jaws, recognized what fascinated about the story was that he said it was a really credible look at how dinosaurs might someday be brought back alongside modern mankind. Being, well, sorry about that, going beyond a simple monster movie. Although, can you imagine in real life someone decided it would be a good idea to resurrect dinosaurs? Good Lord, the natural order would be in a completely fluctuating disaster. Don't want to imagine that. And I don't want to be eaten. What in the world, microphone? What are you doing? Stop that. Thank you. Many mistakes on a podcast. They can happen. Anyway, right before the publication of the original Jurassic Park novel, Crichton wanted a film rights fee for $1.5 million US, and it's gross. Studios and directors such as Tim Burton of Warner Brothers, Richard Donner of Columbia Pictures, and Joe Dante of Now then, apparently, 20th Century Fox bid all of their money on the rights. But right at the last second, it was Spielberg himself of what I won't say Warner Brothers again, Universal Studios who gained the rights. I cannot imagine a room where they're like, 10 million, 20 million, I bet $30 million. Sold. Oh, Jesus Christ. After finishing Hook, Spielberg was given the green light to go ahead with the project. He stated that he chose to do a creature-driven thriller with, I was really trying to make a good sequel to Jaws on land. Now here's something that you Godzilla fans are going to be shocked with. Spielberg cited Godzilla as an inspiration for this movie, specifically Godzilla King of the Monsters, 56 edition, the movie he grew up watching. During production, he described Godzilla, in his words, the most masterful of all the dinosaur movies because it made you believe it was really happening. Well, okay, he's not wrong to an extent. The same methods for using special effects in Jaws are present with this movie, but there is more CGI to work with. Thankfully, it's not overused, like in the 21st century. God, we'll get there. The final result was Jurassic Park, which was released on compromises, June 11th, 1993. This movie became, at the time, the highest grossing film of all time, earning a whopping $914 million. Calm down, Mr. Grams. Jesus Christ. Critics, to no surprise, praised the movie all over. Janet Maslin of the New York Times called it a true movie milestone, presenting awe and fear-inspiring sights never before seen on the screen. On paper, the story is tailor-made for Mr. Spielberg's talent, but it becomes less crisp on screen than it was on the page, with much of the enjoyable jargon either mumbled confusingly or otherwise thrown away. In Rolling Stone, Peter Travers, described the film as a colossal entertainment, the eye-popping, mind-bending kick in the jams, surreal ride of the summer and probably the year. Compared with the Dinos, the characters are dry bones indeed. Crichton and co-writer David Coep, have flattened them into... Jesus Christ, I'm having a hard time pronouncing words. Non-entities. There we go. Whew. Non-entities on the trip from page to screen. Roger Ebert gave the film 3 stars out of 4, saying the movie delivers all too well on its promise to show us dinosaurs. We see them earlier and often, and they are indeed a triumph of special effects artistry. But the movie is lacking other qualities that it needs even more, such as a sense of awe and wonderment and strong human story values. And finally, Empire Magazine gave the film 5 stars, hailing it as, quite simply, one of the greatest blockbusters of all time. Now, I remember watching this movie back in the early 2000s, and I didn't watch it in full until 2006. And at the time, I was so mesmerized and all was like all of the special details on all of the dinosaurs that were popping up on screen. It was just masterful. Do I still hold these thoughts now? Well, let's find out. This is my review of Jurassic Park. Now, where did I put my survival guide? That is really interesting. Oh, hello there, and welcome to Jurassic Park. I'll be your tour guide while we go through the many steps to ensure your survival, well-being. Let's begin. We begin the film off with Robert Mildoon, played by Bob Peck, who is handling the raptor cage. But when the raptor goes crazy and eats one of the employees, he is telling the other guys to shoot! Shoot! I'm so bad at impressions. Also, this is step 1. If you see a raptor go crazy, use tranquilizer darts. The next day, John Hammond's scumbag lawyer, Donald Gennaro, played by Martin Ferrero. By the way, if you're wondering why I said scumbag lawyer, it is because I hate lawyers. Most of the lawyers that I see in real life and on TV are complete scumbags. Never trust a lawyer. Anyway. Now, Mr. Donald here is looking for his client, but he's not there. Instead, he stumbles upon some Hispanics digging up a prehistoric gold rock that has something in it, apparently. Then, he is told by an Hispanic about Dr. Grant. Speaking of, Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, played by Sam Neill and Laura Dern respectively, discovers a velociraptor skeleton underground. Using a single handy dandy device that actually digs, and it ain't a jackhammer. Let me just say that right now. Imagine if it was a jackhammer. The amount of noises they create, and the amount of complaints from the neighbors. Anyway, when a random child comments that it looks like a 6-foot turkey, I've seen bigger. No, literally, I've seen bigger turkeys than that. Grant immediately scares the child with an actual raptor claw and what it might do to you if a situation calls for, I don't know, like a raptor appearing out of nowhere and what side it might attack you on, so on and so forth. So, this is step 2. If the child isn't scared by facts, you scare him by showing him actual proof. Good parenting. Jesus Christ. Some teacher you are, Grant. Suddenly, a helicopter interrupts the fun. Grant runs into his trailer and finds Mr. John Hammond himself, played by Richard, how the hell do you say his last name? Attenborough. Oh, I got it right this time. Hallelujah. Who then tells both Grant and Sattler about an island he owns off the coast of Costa Rica. Isla Nublar is what the island is called, to which both of them are interested and want to check it out for themselves. Now, we cut to San Jose, Costa Rica, and we see Mr. Dennis Nedry, played by Wayne Knight, is giggling at the fact that he's getting an object that can catch some kind of embryos on Isla Nublar. Seriously, dude, control your laughter. You're sounding like the fucking Joker. Actually, no, that joke actually comes to me, because every time I laugh, I sound like the Joker. What, you don't believe me? There you go, there's your proof. Speaking of, while on the way to said island, we meet Mr. fucking smiley face himself, Dr. Ian Malcolm, played by motherfucking Jeff Goldblum. And he greets all of us with his laugh. Oh, let me try and imitate it. Me. So we finally reach the island itself, and oh my god, it's full of dinosaurs. Glorious. Oh, glorious. Welcome to Jurassic Park, indeed. Damn, I wish I could say roll credits, but that's already been done. Shit. Hammond and the group are then brought to the facility. It's kind of like a museum, a diner, and everything else into one, where they are shown the process of it all. The miracle process of cloning. And the way they did this is, get this, the fossilized mosquito that have the dinosaur blood inside of it is extracted from said mosquito from, what do you call those fucking things? Dried up honey. No, dried up sap. And then you combine that with the DNA of a frog, keep that in mind, and poof, dinosaur. It is a lot more complicated than what I just explained to you. Step 3. Learn how the dinosaurs are made. Excuse me, I just ate something from the concession stand. Anyway, Grant and the group decides it's time to witness the hatching of a little baby raptor. Oh, so adorable. Die. Mr. Henry Wu, sorry about that, played by B.D. Wong, tells Malcolm that all the dinosaurs are female. Are you sure about that, dude? Also, keep that in mind. To which Malcolm responds with, life finds a way. Also keep that in mind. We then cut to an adult raptor paddock where the group witness a cow getting slaughtered to death by a raptor. Although you don't technically get to see that. It's obscured in the bushes. Also, do I need to call PETA? I think I need to call PETA. This is complete animal abuse. No, this is straight up animal abuse. Get me a phone. I need to call PETA. Don't worry about that. We then cut back to the facility where we see dinner at the table with multiple slideshows going on at once. Dr. Ian Malcolm displays his opinion. I'm going to play you that clip right now. Wait, hold on a second. Okay. I'm going to play you this audio clip right now. Because if I literally try to display this video on screen, guess what might happen if Universal sees that? You might get the idea.
I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
why in the world do I have a feeling that's foreshadowing for something? It'll come to me. So when the two appetizers, grandchildren of Hammond, Tim and Lex Murphy, played by Joseph Mazzello and Ariana Richards respectively, arrive, it's time for the grand tour of the island. But like buzzkills that they are, the dinosaurs are no show. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. I always wanted to say that. Finding this fucking sore throat is a pain in the ass. So back in the control room, Mr. Rayano, played by Samuel Jackson, spreads his concern on the vehicles. Probably because someone should have made locked doors. Oh wait, that was the other guy. Never mind. So they arrive at the T-Rex paddock, and in an attempt to lure the T-Rex out, they use a go. Seriously, get me a phone so I can call PETA. And the government. Wait, that is a very good question. Why hasn't anyone ever called the government if these creatures ever get out? Oh, wait, that's foreshadow. No, wait, what's that foreshadow? Or is that a spoiler? Or both? Whatever. However, upon seeing a fallen Triceratops, Grant, Sadler, Malcolm, the scumbag lawyer, and the children exit the cars and attends to the sick Triceratops. See, I told you there was a reason that you need to have locked doors. Even in cars. Morons. So in order to find out what was the source of all that, Dr. Sadler decided to look for, and I shit you not, a giant pile of shit. Even Ian Malcolm has to say, that is one big pile of shit. Ah, God. That's basically the fucking movies that I just saw. PTSD. Suddenly Zeus says, "Get the fuck back in the cars now!" To which they do, without Sadler, who decides to stay behind. Back in the vicinity, Dennis deactivates the entire security system on the island and steals the embryos from the laboratory. Oh, I'm sure this won't end horribly for him or others. Who am I kidding? Well, Dennis then cheeses it, but ends up getting lost. Meanwhile, the vehicles have stopped back at the T-Rex paddock, and then is greeted by the Tyrannosaur herself. "Oh, hi, Rexy. How you doing?" Upon seeing Rexy, yeah, that's That is what the Jurassic Park community called this specific T-Rex. They gave it a name of Rexy. Don't ask me why, they just do. So anyway, upon seeing Rexy, the scumbag lawyer chases it to the bathroom, probably because he literally shat his pants so hard that he literally need to take a shit. I would not blame him. Even when the power is out. So after breaking free of her paddock and roaring into the sky, she decides to dine on the children, tipping over the Jeep that they were in. Aha! Dr. Grant demonstrates how to lure a T-Rex away with a flare, like a pro, and Dr. Ian Malcolm proceeds to demonstrate how to lure T-Rex away like a complete idiot. He clearly was not paying attention. But thankfully, Ian lives for another day. The scumbag lawyer, on the other hand, is not so lucky. I told you lawyers are complete scumbags. Rexy then tips the Jeep over the cliff in the paddock. Wait, hold on a second. Where did that cliff come from? No, seriously, where did that cliff come from? If you actually watch this scene, how did the T-Rex exit out of its paddock? You might assume that it's on the same plot of land. And then all of a sudden, poof, there's a cliff. Like, where did that come from? That's a fucking... Why? Anyway, that is step 4. When the T-Rex breaks out, do not make any movement. Because literally, their vision is based on movement. So remember Dennis? Well, a lady named Karma does and caught up with him via Dilophosaurus. Yikes. Bye-bye, dude. Okay, now then. Tim is still in the car that was tipped over by Rexy, which is now stuck in a tree. So Grant decides to climb up said tree and grabs the boy out of the car, while escaping said car down the tree. Don't worry, they survive. So after retrieving a bloody Malcolm, Mildoon and Sattler just drives away while Rexy is literally chasing them, who is still hungry apparently. Although, yeah, I wouldn't blame her. She only ate the scumbag lawyer. Why wouldn't she be hungry? Or still be hungry? But eventually, she gives up and roars in the other distance. And hearing the roars of a hungry Rexy, Grant and the kids decides to climb another tree for the night, watching the Brachiosaur singing as their live entertainment. Back in the facility diner, Sadler finds Hammond stuffing his face with ice cream. Been there, done that. Both have a discussion about control over nature. Why don't you ask Japan how controlling nature went well? It didn't. The next morning, a Brachiosaur munches on some plants beside the three. Skipping ahead here, while walking through the jungle, apparently, and I'm not kidding you, Dr. Grant stumbles upon a dinosaur nest. Now, remember the whole life finds a way? Well, apparently the dinosaurs can change sex at will. This might have because some African frogs can actually change sex from male to female. Oh my god, no, I'm not diving into that. Too much of that science. So after shutting off the system of the island, the entire island, mind you, and turning it back on again, so fucking basic, Arnold marches off to restart the circuit breaker on the other side of the island, on his own. I'm sure it'll go well. Grant and the kids witness how herbivores run and how carnivores, i.e. Rexy, hunt down said prey. What is this filler bullshit? Down in the bunker, Sadler and Mildoon decides to look for Arnold and then comes across a broken raptor paddock. Oh, shit. Looks like the hunter has become the hunted. Yeah, I'm sure it'll end well for them. Okay, one of them is going to end up well. I don't know about the other. So the trio of Grant, Lex, and Tim comes across finally the non-electric fence and decides to climb it after hearing Rexy roar in the distance. I mean, who wouldn't? But after Sadler turned on all the power, including the fences, only Tim was rocketed backwards off the fence into Grant's arms on the other side. Whew, toasty. Oh, look at that. Karma was actually calling her name as well when a sudden raptor appears out of nowhere and is shown Mr. Arnold's hand. No comment. So, how's Mildew doing? Oh, he's not doing so good as he confronts one raptor and then is greeted by the other. Yep, 2 raptors. Who would have fucking thought of that? Grant and the kids finally return to the facility, and Grant just bails on them to look for the others, to which he does. So much for that promise of not leaving them behind. Good job on that, dude. So how are the kids doing while he was doing that? Well, they meet the 2 raptors in the kitchen, because apparently they are hungry for children. But they evade the 2 raptors. Step 5, outsmart a predator. Grant and Sadler arrive back at the facility and run into the control room. Knock, knock. Who is it? Oh, it's a raptor. Oh shit, it's a raptor. And they learn how to open doors. I'm not kidding. That is actually the scene. It happens not once, not thrice, but twice. Evolution. Well, the 2 adults hold the door in. Guys, you have a shotgun right in front of you. Just grab it. I mean, one guy is literally holding the door while you're just literally sitting there doing nothing. So anyway, while those 2 are literally holding the door, kind of, Lex uses the power of hacking to turn back on all the security systems. But celebration is cut short when the raptor breaks through the glass, the observatory glass. I could have sworn that glass was literally made out of plastic. Or what do you call those things? Plexiglass. There we go. I guess I was wrong. And after reaching the main museum, the group encounters the other raptor being surrounded in the process. Suddenly Rexy for the save. When the hell did she take lessons on how to become a ninja? Just win. That's unexpected. I'll give him that. Definitely different than the ending of the book. After killing both raptors, she roars and poses for Time magazine. Oh, and the others, including Malcolm and Hammond, escape the island via helicopter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the final step. When you are trapped by 2 raptors, use the Tyrannosaur trap card. It's always foolproof. Here is You Better Run by Motorhead during the 2-minute break. BRB.
That's what I do. I was born to run in and laugh and out loud, with my feet on the ground and my head in the clouds. You better run, baby, you better run. I got a blade like lightning, silver bullets in my gun.
So, how can I describe this movie? Flawed, but still entertaining as hell. I can see why people look back at this movie over the years. It was groundbreaking, even for the time. The visuals, the atmosphere, and the CGI surprisingly holds up, even for the early 90s. How the f*** is that possible? I still do not understand how the CGI, well, most of it anyway, is still able to hold up. It is fucking ridiculous. And thankfully, you do get to see the dinosaurs in impressive animatronics and or suits. Stan Winston, you masterful genius. I love you. Sadly, while I do find the characters, while well acted in many areas, they're kind of lacking in some parts. Don't get me wrong. It's not because they're bad. Far from it. Each of them have their own quirks and personalities about them. And I like that change from the original book, in my opinion. Secondly, the flaws are very, very, very apparent. The sudden cliff out of nowhere, the way that the dinosaurs have been brought back using convoluted science and ridiculous possibilities of blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Excuse me. Some of the filler moments that were not needed, and the sudden T-Rex popping out of nowhere at the end. But those are just minor flaws. Those are big flaws. Here's one thing that isn't a flaw: the music. The music is done by John Williams himself, and once again, it is phenomenal. From tracks that ranges from beautiful to powerful to ominous and horrifying. My personal highlights: the theme for Jurassic Park, obviously, and the opening titles. Those opening notes sends chills down your spine, and I just bumped into my mic, and I wish I could play that track for you, but apparently Universal doesn't like that. Jaws all over again. Overall, Jurassic Park is once again a flawed yet great film. The special effects, the scope, the music, and the acting are a joy to behold, even in 1993. Why the fuck are we so old? God, I hate being old. However, with the recurring flaws that are present here, the film doesn't earn a final grade any higher than 88 hungry T-Rexes out of 100. Buy this movie on Blu-ray. Hell, buy this baby on... Is it in 4K? Oh, it is. All right. Buy it in 4K Blu-ray as well. So, now do it. For more thoughts and First Amendment opinions on movies, games, etc. Oh yeah, we are doing video games and other stuff on this podcast. Trust me, we will get there as soon as we're done with the whole monster movie stuff. Anyway, stay tuned right here on the Brumakian podcast and subscribe to Brumakian Productions for more juicy content. This has been Demetrius, signing off. Have a good day, everyone.